I'm trying not to yell. I'm trying so hard to get better and not screaming at you guys on camera. It's so hard. And like, I feel like I always take my voice back down and then within 20 seconds, like I'm right back up here. Literally when I edit my own videos, I get annoyed with myself. Like I talk shit to myself while I'm editing me. I'm like, stop being so annoying. Stop screaming. This is not an easy situation to edit. It's a hot mess. I am so excited to be filming today's video. Like I know I say that basically in every single video, but I'm especially excited for today's video because I have been working on this one for a while now. About 2 months ago, Linda and I were sitting down just going over some details with the Jaclyn Hill palette. It's so weird calling it that. The palette that I'm creating with Morphe, that's more like it. And I just casually brought up in conversation that I was gonna be filming an updated like favorite Morphe brush video soon because this video is just a very consistently requested video. I see a request for it about every single day. Just people asking for an updated version, people asking me what my favorite bundle is from Morphe, so on and so forth. I have gotten so much more familiar with the brand and with the brushes, and I have now gotten to go to their store several times and really like take my time and touch and feel and get to know their brushes. So now like these brushes are my homies. Like they're a part of me. So anyways, we were sitting there and I told Linda like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be filming an updated Morphe brush video soon. And she was like, oh my gosh, why didn't you tell me? We should do something to make it really special for your subscribers. And I was like, really? Like what? I'm listening. So after this video goes live, there's going to be like a Jaclyn section on morphebrushes.com where all my favorite brushes are going to live. So you guys can see all my favorite brushes. And then, sorry, I'm getting lipstick on my teeth. And then what those brushes are used for exactly, just to kind of break it down for you. And then on top of that, what they are doing, which is so awesome, and I'm so just excited and grateful for Morphe doing this because one of the most asked questions that I get from you guys about brushes is what my favorite brush kit is. People are always tweeting me, asking me on YouTube and Instagram, what's your favorite Morphe kit? I want to buy a kit. I'm very confused by individual brushes. It doesn't make sense to me. Like I just want to buy a kit, and I get it because it's easy, right? Like it comes together, it's all there, you don't have to think about it. So I have a total of 23 brushes in front of me right now that I'm going to be talking about in today's video. I have several face brushes and several eye brushes. And then once this video goes live, they will be sold in a kit as one big bundle for a very discounted price. And they're going to be giving you guys an exclusive 15% off discount code that is going to last for only 5 days. That code is going to be eligible in store in Burbank, California, and it will be eligible online. You can use it as many times as you want for whatever you want, not just this brush kit, not just these brushes, but anything that Morphe sells. This brush bundle will come in my favorite brush case. You guys know I've been raving about this case ever since I discovered it, maybe a year and a half ago or so. It is a hard case that looks like crocodile. I love it so much because I love animal prints. You open it up and there are all of your brushes right there. It can just sit nice and flat on a vanity, a desk, or a floor, because that's where I always do my makeup when I travel, is the floor. And then when you're done, you just shut it, and it's magnetic, so it shuts just like this. And the reason I love this so much is because of the fact that it is a hard case, because I've always just traveled with my brushes in a brush roll or in a Ziploc bag just to make it easy. But what will happen is when I get there and I unpack my suitcase, the bristles will be like messed up sometimes and deformed, and they never really go back to their regular shape because smushed into a suitcase, like the bristles will get messed up, where this is a hard case, so everything is so protected. Not to mention, this case holds a generous amount of brushes. This bundle that I'm talking about right now, you guys, is also gonna be available in the store. And the 15% off discount code for the next 5 days will also be eligible in the store. And then keep in mind, in 5 days, when that 15% discount code is expired, there still is just my regular 10% discount code that I always have, which is just Jack Attack in all caps. But the 15% is just a little something extra, a little something sassy. Okay, you guys, let's jump into my favorite brushes. I have them divided up into face and eye, and I think I'm gonna start with face first. I just think that makes more sense. I washed them all last night, that way they weren't dirty and disgusting on camera, but then I did do my makeup earlier this morning, so a few of them are dirty again. I'm just gonna kind of move along in the order that you do your makeup, right? You start with foundation. So you guys already know that my favorite foundation brush is the M439. Yes, it's the M439. This is such a good foundation brush. I use it all the time. This is always the brush that I fall back on. You guys know what I'm talking about. You have those things of yourself, you know, whether it's a highlight, a blush, a brush, whatever it is. There's just certain things that are ride or die. That's this foundation brush for me. At the end of the day, every single time I use it, I'm just like, yes, this is the best foundation brush. I love it so much. I love that it's rounded. I love the way it blends out my foundation. It gives such a great full coverage, and it is soft on your face. It is not scratchy whatsoever. All the brushes I'm talking about here today are not scratchy. They are all very soft and feel very high quality. This brush was a more recent discovery for me. I was actually on set shooting with Morphe for my palette, and Nicole, also known as Lipstick Nick on social media, did my makeup that day, and I was so excited. I was like, I can't wait for the Lipstick Nick beat down. It was so much fun. But she was using this brush to blend out my foundation, and I was like, girl, what are you doing? Why are you using that? What's the purpose? Like, I'm just so into it, you know? Like, anytime I see a makeup artist working, like, I can't take my eyes off of it. I wanna know everything about everything that you're doing. She just told me, she goes, I love using a smaller, more precise synthetic brush for foundation. I feel like it really gets into all the little lines and crevices. You can get a really full coverage, and you can really like determine where you're gonna put the majority of the coverage, and you have more control. And I was like, So now I go back and forth between an E8 and the M439. I just love the round top. That's the thing that I feel like I look for the most. I used to love flat tops, but that's because I had not discovered round tops yet. So round top synthetic brushes are definitely my favorite brushes to apply foundation with. I feel like I can really maneuver the product, and I really, really like this small brush. And I will say, if you're in a hurry, you're just gonna wanna use the big guy, because this one will take longer. Of course, it's smaller. As for a powder brush, this right here is the only one by Morphe that I truly love. I mean, there's other ones that I like, but this is like my absolute go-to. It is the best, hands down. This is the E41. Whenever there is an E in front of the number, that means that it's from the Elite collection, which makes it more of a luxurious, more expensive line. I love the Elite collection so much because the bristles are just so soft, and it just feels so high end. These are just like pure luxury, if you ask me. I love this brush because it is so big, so fat, so dense. That's what she said. Truly, when I put on my powder, I feel like it is so fast. Like, I used to use a more smaller brush back in the day, and it just took so long, and now it's like done. This bronzer brush, you guys, this is a serious moment, okay? Because you know how dedicated I was to my Tom Ford bronzer brush. Oh my God. I remember saying, like, yes, this Morphe brush might be good. Yes, this Sigma brush might be good, but nothing compares to the Tom Ford bronzer brush. Like, it is the only thing I use always. And people get so frustrated with me on my videos because they'd be like, stop using that $100 brush. And I was like, I don't care. Like, nothing blended out my bronzer like that Tom Ford brush. And it has actually been replaced, like, for real, like, for real. So this is the Morphe R2. This is from the Rose Gold collection. I love the way these brushes look with that rose gold ferrule and this matte black handle. I think it is like just so sexy looking. If you watch my videos, you see me use this bronzer brush every single time I apply. It's the perfect size. It's not too big and it's not too small. Like, it's big enough where it's not gonna contour you, but it's small enough where it's not gonna over bronze you and make it messy. It's so soft. I love the way the bristles are shorter on the edge and then longer in the center because it gives you such a beautiful, just smooth bronze application. Like, I love this. It's the only brush I use, honestly. Like, I'm obsessed. So speaking of contour, my go-to brush is definitely the R10, and Frankie had some fun with this brush, and the end is all chewed up by him, but I don't care, I still use it. This brush right here makes contouring so easy. And I sound like I'm selling you guys these brushes, but seriously, this contour brush is so beautiful. I don't even know what they actually created this brush for, but it is like the perfect contour brush, and I would have never thought it until I used it. And it's because the bristles are like the perfect height to contour. They're not too short, and they're not extra long. And I also love how the top of the brush, the bristles are a little bit longer, and then they're shorter on the side. So when you contour, it just creates such a nice, soft, blended out, just smooth line. You're not gonna have like a really harsh line with this because there's other brushes I have used in the past, like the NARS Ita brush, which I love that brush, but you also have to be careful. Like, I have to be careful. Anyone who uses it have to be careful because you can easily create a very intense, like, line. And if you're not using the perfect contour shade, it's not gonna look right. Whereas with this, it's just very smooth, very natural looking contour. It truly looks like a shadow and not a line, which is why I love it. I have also used this brush a lot for contouring, which you guys have seen on camera, but I actually prefer this one for blush a little bit more, and this is the M530. This brush is actually the most universal out of all the ones that I am talking about because this brush I will use for 3 different things. I will use it for contouring, I will use it for blush, and I will also use this to wipe away anytime I bake. So I know that seems silly, like, oh, you can use any brush for that. Yeah, you can, but this is just the one that I always pick up because I just like the way it wipes away the translucent powder. I just think that it looks really nice. I wanted to add this guy in here because it is similar to this one in the sense that you can use it for blush or contour, but it's different because it's shorter and it's denser. So if you want to go in and really precise and like really make that contour like stand out and pop, which is more of like an evening look that I will do. So like, I'll go in with this brush originally, I'll do my contour, I'll dab this a little bit into that contour shade, and then I'll just go like right in that area, just right there. It's the perfect brush for that, just for deepening up and intensifying your contour. This used to be the contour brush, if you guys remember. Back in the day, like this is the brush that everyone used for contour. Like it was the only thing. Next, we have the M438, and this is actually fresh out of the packaging, like brand new, because I was looking for it this morning and I cannot find it anywhere. I swear it like rolled away yesterday when I was cleaning my brushes. So I had 2 backups in my drawer, thank goodness. So this is what it looks like when it comes brand new. Brushes always look so different when you first get them out of the packaging, right? Like after you use them and wash them a couple times, they're just better. I don't know, they just get better as you use them. But anyways, you guys see me use this brush all the time. This is what I will use to put powder on my under eye. It doesn't matter if I'm using a powder for brightness or just a regular face powder. This is the brush that I will use to put it under there, just because I love how soft these natural bristles are, and it just applies it really nice and smooth and evenly. The M510, aka the highlighting brush. I don't even need to say the best highlighting brush, because that's how good it is. It is just the highlighting brush. I'm pretty sure that this is the highlighting brush that I see every single YouTuber out there using. It just applies your highlight so smooth because of these natural bristles. Like everything just goes on, just it glides. Like it is the only highlighting brush that I have used since I discovered it, I think. Like anytime I use a different one, I'm like, this is stupid, and I grab this one instead because it's just the best. So if you are a highlighting queen, the M510 is your brush. All right, let's move on to the eye brushes. So many blending brushes. Of course, you know me, if my eyeshadow is not blended out, I'm gonna wash my face. Like everything needs to be blended to perfection at all times, and so you are gonna get a lot of blending brushes. I just wanna start off with the most awkward one of all, just because it's not even technically an eye brush, but I just wanna talk about it in the eye category because that's where I use it. This is the E47, and it's just so peculiar looking. Like it's just kind of weird and different. You can use this to contour your nose, which I've done several times, and it works great for contouring your nose. But the thing that I actually use it for is I dip it in translucent powder, and I use it to clean up my eyeshadow, and I just stamp it right there, because I'll do my foundation, my concealer, my powder, and then I'll do my eyeshadow. If my eyeshadow gets sloppy at all, I just dip it in translucent and just clean it away, and I'm good to go. The E18, this is the best pencil brush ever. Like, I don't know what it is. I feel like my whole life, all pencil brushes have always just been the same. I don't know, they're just the same. Like, I've always had the MAC pencil brush, they're just the same. This one is not the same. There is something so different about this. It is so soft. It packs on so much product and just makes it blend out so smooth and evenly. Like, this is the only pencil brush that I truly use anymore because it just gets under there so nice and tight. I don't know, this is just honestly hard to explain because it just seems like it's a pencil brush, like what's the big deal? But once you use it, you'll understand. It's the best pencil brush, it's just bomb. This is the M432, and I literally do not know how to live without this brush. I mean, that's dramatic. I'm sure I would figure it out. My life would go on. It would just be difficult. I use this brush for 2 different things, and I'm telling you, it's like one of those brushes that can't be replaced. Like sometimes you're like, okay, I don't have this brush, I can make it work with a different one. No, like this is the only brush that's gonna do its job. And what I use this brush for is to get that color really tight on my lower lash line. I'll also use this to take shadow and put it actually on my waterline if I need to like really make my waterline a lot blacker, or I want the eyeliner to last longer throughout the day. I'll just stamp it over my waterline, and I'll also set my eyeliner with shadow using this, and I will buff my eyeliner out, which you guys have seen me do that technique several times in my videos, where I will take like a dark brown or a black on this exact brush, and I'll just blend out my eyeliner to make it nice and smoky. So this is a definite, like 100% must for me when it comes to doing my eyeshadow. Even when I'm doing a really simple look, I still pick this brush up no matter what. This is the M213, and it is so tiny, but I swear the tiny brushes are like the most important ones. So this one you can use for an inner corner highlight, but I like to use it for a little brow bone pop. So like especially like that Makeup Forever Starlit powder that I use, I will take this brush and just like dab it barely in there and just go boop, 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 just for like a tiny little bright highlight right there at the top of the brow bone. This is my go-to brush for the inner corner of the eye, and this is the E36. This is the one I basically always use for the inner corner of my eye, just to highlight right there. I swear, a couple years back, I didn't have like any of these really small, precise makeup brushes. I don't even know how I did my makeup. Like, I feel like the small ones are sometimes the most important. All right, let's get into blending brushes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different blending brushes because that's how important it is to me. First off, we have the M506. This is a new discovery for me, and when I say new, I'm talking like in the past couple months, you know, maybe like 4 months ago I discovered this, and I love it. I can't put it down. First of all, if you are someone who likes to do a cut crease, a soft cut crease, a harsh cut crease, it doesn't matter. If you're into the cut crease life, this brush is incredible because of the fact that it is so tiny and precise. You can get in there and blend out a cut crease so easily. I also use this a lot if I'm smoking out my lash line and I just want like a little bit of like a cat eye. I will go in, use this, and just smoke out that outer corner. It's just so tiny and precise. Like, I love how short and little tapered the bristles are. It just makes everything so easy. You can even use this on the lower lash line of your eye to blend out your lower lash line as well, because it's just so small and precise. This is the E17. Now this brush is a very different type of blending brush compared to like a really fluffy one. You can't really see the difference on camera really, but this one is more of a stiffer blending brush, which in the past, I've always kind of been like against stiffer blending brushes, because I'm like, how am I supposed to blend something out with a stiff brush? Now this brush isn't stiff, like it has movement to it and mobility. It's just not, like all of the hairs aren't gonna go all different directions when you touch it to your skin. Like the hairs all stay compact and together, which the reason I love this is if I really wanna pack on a color really intensely in the crease area or in the outer corner, this is the guy that I will pick up, dip in my shadow and go in there, and it just keeps it nice and precise and tight. And then I will grab a different brush to go in and blend that color outward. But this just gets on so much pigment right where you need it. This is the M504, and I use this for two different things. The first one is when I'm doing a matte wash of color all over my eyes, like on a really fast day. Because when I do my makeup really fast, like let's say I literally have like 5 to 7 minutes to do my makeup, what I will do is I will spot conceal with concealer, of course. I will do a little bit of cream bronzer, gloss, I'll curl my lashes, and I'll take any bronzer, like I don't know why I always use bronzer, any bronzer, and I pick it up on this brush and I just go like this right in my crease area, just like so sloppy and so messy. And this is the brush that I use for that, because I just think that it applies a matte color all over the lid so beautifully, so effortlessly, and because it is big, like it gets the job done so fast. That is definitely what she said. So now, the part that I'm the most excited for, we're gonna talk about all these white-haired blending brushes. These are the last brushes here in this video, and we have 6 of them right here in my hand. Now, for someone who's gonna walk into a store and see these sitting there, you're gonna think, I don't need all 6 of those. Like, what's the point? They all look the exact same, right? Wrong. I seriously need all 6 of these blending brushes. I don't care if that makes me high maintenance. It is the key to blending out your eyeshadow and having a perfect, beautiful, smoky eye. Now, do you need all 6 of these for an everyday look? No. Did I use all 6 of these today when I did my makeup? No. As you can see, 3 of them are dirty. This one, this one, this one. That's what I use for today's eye look, which is very simple. I only used 3 eyeshadows today and they were all matte. But when it comes time to incorporating darker colors, pops of colors, blending out things like blacks, having a way smokier eye, introducing more than just 2 or 3 eyeshadows, all 6 of these brushes have a purpose, and once you have them, you'll be like, why did I ever live without them? So the first brush that I pick up every single time I do my eyeshadow, no matter what I do, if it's a look like today, if it's a look where it's basically just like one shadow, if it's tons of shadows, I always start off with this brush right here. And this is from the Rose Gold collection, and it is the R37. It's hard for me to read it because the numbers are very worn off. But the reason I picked this up first is because it is just the best at putting down just a very light wash of color in the transition area, which is the key to blending out eyeshadow. Now, if you want to really pack on some beautiful color and blend it out, this would not be your brush. It's gonna be a little bit too long and make it a little messy, but for that first wash of color in the transition area, it's perfect. Next, we have the M513, which is gonna look very similar to the other brush that I just showed you because it is so similar. The only difference is it is just smaller and more compact. But this brush is so great for going in with the second color on your eye. So like today, I went in with this one first, and then I picked up this one second, just to bring in that darker color a little bit lower. This one just works so nicely when you wanna get a little bit more precise in that crease area. Now we have the M518, and the difference between this and the other bristles is that this is more of just a dome, where the other one had longer hairs on the top and shorter on the side. This one just basically goes up and just goes perfectly around, which makes this brush amazing for going back and forth in windshield wiper motions. If you want to pack a nice deep color and really just carve out the crease area, this is going to be perfect for that. Now, once you want to go in circular motions and really blend stuff out, I wouldn't go with this brush. I would go with the others that I've been showing you, but this one is just amazing for that precision of really packing on a color in windshield wiper motions. Now we have the M441, which is so similar to the first blending brush that I showed you, the R37, but I wanted to include this in here because I use both of them all the time together in the same look. Because if I go in with a transition color with this one and I'm blending out everything and I'm blending, and then I want to go in with a different color, I don't want to mix those colors colors on the same brush. So having both of these that are so similar works out to my advantage very often. So I wanted to add it in here so that you guys could have that option as well, because sometimes having two brushes that are basically the same is a good thing when you're working. Otherwise you're like, crap, like I have to clean this brush, it's not working, it's not blending out properly, there's other colors on it, you know what I mean. This is the M573, and this brush I always use for putting a generous amount of matte shadow and just blending it out so effortlessly because of its size. Like, it's nice and fat, and then of course it's longer at the top, shorter on the sides, so it can just blend out such a generous amount so quickly. So this is the brush that you would pick up if you have to just throw on one color and run out the door. It is similar to the one that I showed you earlier, the black haired one, which is synthetic, and this is the M504. The difference is this one is more short and compacted, where this one truly is huge. So it's just personal preference. If you have a larger lid space, if you want to apply more color at that time, maybe you like this one to blend out after you use this one to apply. You just kind of get the rhythm, the motion of the ocean. You kind of figure it out as you go. Last but certainly not least, I saved the best one for last. I'm pretty sure this is the most popular blending brush by Morphe, and is the M433. This is the brush that you guys see all over social media. So many YouTubers are using it. It is just the blending brush because of its short density and its width. It's just so great for packing on any dark color right here in that outer corner. Then I'll pick up one of these other brushes and start to blend that out. You guys see this process on camera all the time, but I'm still just explaining to you guys kind of in depth, try to make more sense. But this one is definitely a cannot live without blending brush. Like, have to have this. That is it, you guys. All 23 brushes laid out for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, especially for those of you who feel very overwhelmed by brushes and very confused. Trust me, I understand. The first time I ever went to the Morphe store, I was just like, oh my God. Like, even as someone who loves and understands brushes and makeup and like it's my life literally, I was still overwhelmed. I was like, wow, like they have hundreds of brushes. It's like brush heaven. So hopefully this kind of breaks it down for you guys and made some sense out of it. And the fact that Morphe is putting all of these into a bundle for a discounted price, I just think is so amazing. So thank you to Morphe so much for doing that for me and for you guys. Don't forget that there is that 15% off discount code that is only gonna last for 5 days. I will put all of the information from everything that I have talked about with this video in the description box right below. And I will also probably share it on Snapchat and possibly Instagram, we'll see. And don't forget that everything that's happening here is also happening in the store in Burbank as well as online. So that's it. I love you guys. I'm done. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.